Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're passionate about helping people with business and accounting. Today's video is a PPP update. Specifically, the SBA has issued new guidance to lenders. Originally, I wasn't going to make this video, but after reading some of the procedural language, I decided that I wanted to talk about some of the things that are highlighted in this document. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the purpose of the notice was procedures for lenders to be able to make forgiveness decisions. So I want to head over to the document and kind of highlight some of the things that I thought were worth mentioning. I will be providing a link down below to this document so you guys can pull it for yourselves and read it for yourselves if you'd like. This document was effective July 23rd. The purpose of the notice was to inform lenders of the process of submitting decisions on PPP borrower loan forgiveness applications to SBA. So here's what I thought was interesting. The very first subject line, loan forgiveness process. To receive your PPP loan forgiveness, a borrower must complete and submit the loan forgiveness application form or the lender equivalent to its lender or the lender servicing its loan. A borrower may submit a loan forgiveness application before the end of the 8-week or 24-week cover period, provided that the borrower has used all the loan proceeds for which the borrower is requesting forgiveness. So a lot of you emailed me, commented in some of my videos, where do I submit my application? So here's the thing. It's going to be up to the individual lenders and how they want to receive your forgiveness application. My bank here in town they're going to have theirs, I believe, through a portal. So we're going to have to click on a link and basically answer the loan forgiveness application through their site. Some banks may require the form submitted to them. It's going to depend on your lender or whoever is servicing your loan. So page 2 is where I want to focus a lot of our time on. So let's head over to page 2 and see what they are requesting from us, the borrowers. For purposes of this video, I want to talk about the 3508EZ procedures because I think that's what's going to be applicable to most of my viewers. So when the borrower submits their form, the lender shall confirm the receipt of the certification, confirm receipt of all the documentation the borrower must submit to aid verifying payroll and non-payroll costs, confirm the borrower's calculation on their form or the equivalent form, including the dollar amount of payroll costs, mortgage interest payments, business rent or lease, and their utilities, claimed on lines 1 through 4, and the SBA form 3508EZ, or the lender's equivalent form. They're going to be reviewing all of your documentation submitted and confirm the calculation on line 7. So right here, because of this wording that's coming up next, this is why I decided to do this video. It says, providing an accurate calculation of the loan forgiveness amount is the responsibility of the borrower, and the lender may rely on the borrower's representation. So guys, if you have not seen episode 27, PPP Easy Application Walkthrough, I highly suggest you guys check that video. I'm going to link it up above. Because of that statement, I really want you guys to make sure that all of your documentation is in order. You can download my spreadsheet that I cover in that video, and you can hand over that packet to your lender to be able to substantiate all of your costs. So you want to make sure you break down all of your costs and you have supporting documentation. Lenders are expected to perform a good faith review in reasonable time on the borrower's calculation and supporting documentation concerning amounts eligible for forgiveness. If the lender identifies error in the borrower's calculation or material lack of substantiation in the borrower's supporting documentation, the lender should work with the borrower to remedy the issue. So the lenders are going to put it back on you. You have to have your supporting documentation. If you have employees and you run payroll, you have to have your payroll reports. If you're a Schedule C filer, you have to have 2019 Schedule C documentation. If you're trying to claim rent expense, if you're trying to claim utilities, all of that, you will need to have your statements for all of that. And yes, it's going to depend on your lender. It's going to depend on what they want to see and how comfortable they are with what you're providing. And a lot of bigger organizations, the bigger banks, are going to be overwhelmed and may not review everything timely and efficiently. But if you can have all of your ducks in a row and you can have all of your information in a readily available and in a packet, you'll be in better shape to get your loan forgiven. Because what you don't want to happen is there's issues with your supporting documentation and you get put on the back burner and you're sitting here waiting for forgiveness, and it is up to the lender to contact you. So you need to know that the lender's responsibility is to contact you and to let you know that they're missing something. So the lender must complete the review of the application and issue a decision to the SBA along with the required documentations not later than 60 days after the receipt of a complete application from the borrower. So 60 days, guys. The lender has 60 days to get it to the SBA. The decision may take the form of an approval in whole or in part, denial, or if directed by the SBA, a denial without prejudice due to pending SBA review of the loan for which forgiveness is sought. If the lender determines that the borrower is entitled to forgiveness of some or all of the amount applied for under the statute and applicable regulations, the lender must request payment from the SBA at the time the lender issues their decision. So basically, the SBA is going to be providing the funds to the lender to forgive your loan. So the SBA will, subject to the SBA review of the loan or loan application, remit the appropriate forgiveness amount to the lender plus any interest accrued through the date of the payment not later than 90 days after the lender issues its decision to SBA. If applicable, SBA will deduct the EIDL advance amount from the forgiveness amount remitted to the lender as required by Section 1110E6 of the CARES Act. So for a lot of you that had questions on how the advance would impact your PPP loan, if you received an idle advance, it will reduce your forgiveness amount. So your lender will issue you a loan for that difference. The lender is responsible to notify the borrower of the forgiveness amount paid by the SBA to the lender. So your lender should issue you some sort of notification once they've received payment from the SBA. If the forgiveness amount paid by the SBA is less than amount in the forgiveness decision by the lender to the SBA, the lender must also notify the borrower of the amount in the lender's forgiveness decision. If only a portion of the loan is forgiven, or if the forgiveness request is denied, any remaining balance due on the loan must be prepaid by the borrower on or before the maturity date of the loan. PPP lenders are responsible for servicing the loans in accordance to the regulations. After submission of a forgiveness decision to the SBA, the lender will continue to service the loan as required. So if you have a loan, then your lender will be servicing that loan. So what happens if your lender denies your forgiveness? If a lender denies a borrower's application in full, the lender must notify the borrower in writing that the lender has issued a decision to the SBA denying your application. SBA reserves the right to review the lender's decision in its sole discretion. So they can if they want to, basically. 30 days of the notice from the lender, the borrower may notify the lender that it is requesting that the SBA review the lender's decision. So if your lender denies your forgiveness, you can notify your lender that you want the SBA to review. Within 5 days of receipt of the borrower's request for review, the lender must notify SBA of the request. SBA will notify the lender if SBA declines a request for review. If SBA accepts a borrower's request for review, SBA will notify the borrower and the lender of the results of their decision. That's really all I wanted to talk about with this notice. Guys, you need to be informed on what the expectations are going to be from what the lenders are telling you and what your actual rights are, because we know how organizations, sometimes things can fall through the crack or they're not communicating as they should. So be informed, stay up to date with what's going on, know your rights, know that you can appeal your lender's decision and go straight to the SBA. And of course, it's up to them if they want to approve or deny. But you have control. You can control what you submit to them, and you can make sure that all of your information is complete. Download my spreadsheet that's in that video, and every single number that you include in your forgiveness application, you should have support for it, okay? I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.